More people.
Nice. Sounds good. Well, you know what? We are all the way live. What's up, everybody? This is your host, Tobias Young, in the house, and I'm here with my friend, Eugen Popa. And Eugen is somebody that I wanted to introduce to all of you because he's really good at mindset. And mindset are one of those things that we don't always think that we feel like we need, but it's something that the top entrepreneurs, fitness coaches, people in general that are highly successful all have a different type of mindset. And if you're a fitness coach and you want to get the best performance out of your clients, you better learn how to optimize their mindset because you can give them the best nutrition plan in the world. You can give them the best workout in the world. If they don't have the mindset to go all in and perform and even follow what you're giving them, then they're going to fail. And obviously, if they fail, then you fail as a coach. That's the last thing that we want. So if you can just work on a few different things to be able to optimize the mindset of your potential clients and even for yourself, your whole world is going to change. That's why I have Eugen in here. And Eugen, welcome to the live stream here, man. Just wanted to introduce you a little bit. For those people who don't know you, give a quick little scenario, man. Like, how did you get started into the whole entrepreneurial journey? And who are you, man?
Yeah, thank you so much, Tobias, for this opportunity, and hello to everyone who's watching now live or in recording. I've been passionate about how the mind works for forever, basically. I started studying NLP and then hypnosis and Eastern methodologies, yoga and whatnot, meditation. So I've always been passionate about this. And then I took the route of actually working with clients, so like doing therapy, interventions, healing and dealing with different issues that people had. And what you just said now about coaches and their clients, that's exactly what happens in the therapy world just as well. Not only in the sports arena, so to speak, but in any and all different settings where somebody is helping somebody else, right? So whether it's sports coaching, life coaching, therapy, business coaching, or whatnot. We I forget now who he was, but he said we don't raise to the level of our goals. We descend to the level of our standards or habits. So basically, I think it was the guy James Clear, I think with the guy with the habits. So basically, it's like people come in and they set different goals. So your clients in the gym, right? They have certain goals. They come to you, they're really pumped, especially in the beginning of the year. They go
Yep.
like, yeah, I'm gonna, tear down the fat. I'm gonna put up the muscle, and I'm gonna rock this year. And 2 weeks into the year, and they're out. You never saw them again. And so this is what they do, but this is what us all coaches are doing. That we like in the beginning of the day, we're like, oh my God, this year I'm gonna do this and this and that and the other. And um, the one of the coolest tricks to actually make this work is not only to say it in your mind, but to actually write it down on a piece of paper, um, and to have a clear mental image of what you want to do. So I'm talking now to coaches what they should accomplish for themselves, how they should
Okay.
like set things up for themselves. And then I'm talking about that for the clients.
Okay.
So you as a coach, here's a trick that you can do that actually will increase tremendously your rate of success and the possibility for you to attain your goals. So, like I said, one thing is to actually write down that goal that you want to achieve and write it down every single day. Like have a book where you write all of that down, and maybe we bring a little bit of details to it every time you write it down. And so the way to do it is after you write down and or during writing it down, have a clear mental image in your mind of you having achieved that goal already, and then what you should do is to connect this goal where you are already achieved, to connect it to different other moments and situations in your life when you felt the same way, So you had the same enthusiasm or excitement or whatnot. Because when you connect that, when it's like, so when else did I feel this when I achieved something? Oh, it was this moment when I was, I don't know, in 10th grade,
Yeah.
or when I drove my car for the first time, or whatever, right? So find different other moments in your life when you felt that way, the way you would feel after you have accomplished your goal. And by doing so, what you actually are doing, you're neurohacking your own brain, because now you can create connections, and you also create a sort of compulsion, so to speak, between what you want to achieve and that thing which has already been achieved. It's part of your history. So somehow this history is transferred to this thing which did not happen yet, but it already feels like something that has happened and it's under your belt, so to speak. So that is one thing. And then a second thing that you can do with your goal is to think this way. So now that I have achieved this goal, how does this achievement impact different areas and aspects of my life? Now that I have achieved, let's say, 100 clients, I'm just saying, okay, let's
Yeah.
just say that. I now I have 100 clients that I'm coaching. How does that impact my life, my private life, my personal life, my business life, my health, my own training, my own leisure? How does that impact my, I don't know, advertising? How does that impact my food and intake and all of that stuff? And really, the key here is to find as many connections as possible, even the most remote connections you right now cannot even fathom. And I'll give you an example. Now that you have 100 clients, let's say now you will go and change your gym gloves to that particular brand with white stripes and silver lining. I don't know, right? So you connect that.
Yeah.
Or now that you have 100 clients, now you're going to do this new type of exercise. Or now that you have 100 clients, you will take your partner to a nice restaurant or whatever. So
Yeah.
create as many connections to this thing. And the reason, again, is the same thing. It's you're neurohacking your own mind, because basically, with every new connection that you make between your achievement and whatever other satellite manifestations around it, basically, all of these actually make this even stronger, even more powerful. It's like it strengthens it and makes it closer and closer to reality.
Wow. Okay. So, for example, if there's a fitness coach out there, and if they're at six figures, they want to get to seven figures, or if they're just starting off and they finally want to get those 10K months, you're saying write this goal down,
Mhm.
associate yourself with already having this. Just like, hey, when you got your first certification and you were super excited, that same feeling,
Yeah.
associate that mentally with this new goal that you're looking to accomplish. And then from there, it creates these neural pathways to make this kind of like happen, right? Is
Yeah,
that kind of
absolutely.
okay?
Exactly. Exactly. And the cherry on top, and this is not some woo-woo bullshit stuff. This is not some oh, let's meditate. This is neurology, guys. Okay. So the cherry on top is think. So you've done step number one, you write it down. Step number two, you think of other events or situations in your life when this is already has happened. Step number three, you connect this achievement to other accomplishments or to other small or big changes that will occur in your life once it's accomplished. And step number four, think of this achievement right here as if it already has happened. So think about it this way. This was a very cool exercise I saw somebody talking about, and say, imagine for a moment that right now you are asked to play in the movie about your life. But this is not just anybody, this is like to be the hero in the life of the legend of Coach XYZ, right? So the legendary coach Tobias, now you, Tobias, are asked to play the role in your life of the legend that is Tobias Young, right?
Okay.
So now, why? Because when you do this, you basically, again, hack your own mind and say, this is not something that I want to have happen. No, this is something that has already happened, and I am grateful for it. So kind of like, instead of saying, oh, it'll be nice to have 10 clients pay me $10,000 each, and it'll be nice to have that. Instead of saying that, say, oh my God, remember the time when I had so many clients paying me $10,000 a month, and I mean, I was so excited and putting so much work, and I feel so grateful for that achievement.
Yeah.
So kind of like think of this thing that you want to achieve, not like something not necessarily like something that just happened, but something that happened long time ago, and all of the wonderful things that um, were generated by this achievement. So again, by doing this, you're basically hacking your own brain and your own mind to say, oh, hold on a second, well, this didn't happen, so we have to make this happen. Otherwise, it's kind of like bullshitting ourselves, but we are not. We are
Yeah.
just hacking our own mind to make that happen.
Ooh, I love that. So for the fitness coaches out there, how would you be able to, one, translate this into your success? And number
Five
two,
ways, 5 ways. Write down 5 ways at least. All right, go ahead.
and number two, how would you help translate this into your client's success? If your client needs to lose 50 pounds and they want to feel better and they want to get their marriage back together, they want to be able to play with their kids and have their energy again, they have to visualize already having achieved that. And then from there, it's going to create in their neural pathways, like, this is what you need to do to get this done. And it's naturally going to start falling into place 10 times easier than if they're just like, oh, I wish I can lose 50 pounds. I wish I can have more energy. So really get into this. You guys take notes on this. This is freaking gold. I love this. And by the way,
so move from wishing
mm-hmm.
to how let's find a catchy line here. So go from wishing to, I don't know, wondering, from wishing to gratefulness, kind of a thing. That's basically where we play this game. And I will tell you another way of doing this, which would be like the fifth way of doing this. And this is so cool. So you already have achieved whatever goal you set for yourself or for your clients. All right. Now I'm talking to the coaches, because what I'm saying here, the coach can also translate further down the line to their clients. So I'm talking to the client or to the coach. So think of that thing which you want to achieve as it has already been achieved and you're grateful for it. And now you are standing right here in the epitome of your realization, feeling amazing, fantastic, glorious. And you can do this even physically. All right. Now, I want you to go, turn around, look back to what was the last step you took before you arrived at this realization. And write that down. Whatever, it doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to be smart. The first thing that pops into your mind, you write it down. And then you go one step back and say, okay, so now I'm just about to achieve my goal. But what was the previous step that I took that got me to the very last step before I achieved it? And write that down. And then go further and go all the way down and all the way back to the moment you are in right now. All right. So this way, because many people say, well, I don't know how to achieve that. Correct. You don't know, because when you're at the foot of the mountain, you cannot see all of the things which are on the top of the mountain. But what you can do, you can imagine being at the top of the mountain, and from there, you look down. And things will come out. Your mind will bubble stuff out, and write that down. So you say, oh, before I reached the summit, I did this thing. And before I did this thing, I did this one thing. And before I did this, I made this change. And before I made this change, I had to make this change. And all the way down, trickling to the point where you are right now. And maybe it can be 3 steps, it can be 10 steps, it doesn't matter. Just write all of those down. And now this is your roadmap to get to the summit.
Wow, that's deep. So it's reverse engineering the process, because a lot of times when we're down below, like you said, looking up, we get overwhelmed ourselves and we just kind of get stuck in what we're doing, thinking, I want to be able to do this. But when you actually visualize yourself as already having conquered this thing, then you already kind of know what it took to get there. It's weird how your brain like figures everything out once you reverse engineer the process.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. I just got another idea. So So imagine you have a doppelganger, right? So for people who don't know, it's like a double of yourself, somebody who looks very close to you, but is not, you're not related in any way, shape, or form with that person. It can be somebody, in the other corner of the world, but looking like you, like two drops of water. So now imagine that instead of you having achieved this goal, imagine that you're now looking at the story and the struggles and the success of this person who wanted exactly the same thing that you want, and then they went on and achieved it, and kind of like be like a witness to the struggles, to the obstacles, to the hard times, and to the good times until they achieve that goal. So you can be here like watching a movie and see, so this guy wants to achieve exactly what does this guy do? Because I don't know what to do, but maybe this guy knows. I'm gonna watch him, right? This is a mind game, but it works. Right?
Yes.
So you watch this guy doing this thing and then this thing and then this thing, and keep on going like that until they arrived at their resolution, at the peak, at the summit, at the goal, and say, oh, let me just copy that.
I gotcha. So that's almost another way of like doing that, but through a different pathway. I like this. This is freaking good. Are you guys
Yeah,
liking this? Give me
it's like,
give
yeah,
me some fire emojis down below if you're freaking liking this. And if you're thinking about, hey, how would I be able to do this? And hopefully you guys are taking some notes and you guys are going to actually implement these steps in here too. Because I challenge every single person that's watching this. After we're done with this, I want you to reverse engineer the process. Think about, what is your goal? Is it a business goal? Is it, whatever it is? Is it a number of clients? Is it a revenue goal that you want to hit? Maybe some of you are looking to lose weight and so forth. And like, I'm just kind of struggling. But imagine yourself having, developed that body that you want, that feeling that you want, that business that you want, having that ultimate success. And if you're having a hard time with reverse engineering the process, which, I mean, you shouldn't have a hard time because it's kind of like putting yourself in that. But then think about that other drop of water that he was talking about. What about this other person that is exactly like you, that is taking the right steps to accomplish this goal? What are those steps at this person? So you can almost like do both of them and see like the different type of outcomes, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I love it. And you guys, if you're watching this live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hit replay down below in the comments. I want to see where you're at with everything too. So those are some hacks for yourself. And then what about hacks for the clients? Like to teach them from, something bad to good, from unmotivated to motivated. Like what are some things that you can say if there's some, some fitness coaches, some trainers, some gym owners, and they have these type of clients, what are some things that they can do to improve that?
Yeah. So we all know we all want something, right? And like you said yourself, we are all motivated in a different way. So, if you strip all of the theory down, in the end of the day, there are only two motivators in life: running away from pain or running towards pleasure. That's it. That's basically it. So people who want to lose weight, they're kind of like running away from pain. People who want to get muscular, they're kind of like motivated to, by the pleasure of achieving that goal, and they do not exclude each other. They both can work. And so many times when you are working with a client who comes in and says, oh, I'm going to break the door every morning at 5 a.m. at the gym, and I'm going to be the first in and mop the floors, and then I'm going to lick the floors, and I'm going to do some push-ups, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
but in their heart of hearts, they do want to lose the weight. They do want to exercise. They do want to make a change in their life, but it doesn't last for long. And the reason is actually very, very simple. And this is something that I do with my clients all the time. And it's amazing how good this works. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of your client as if it were this notebook. All right. So this is your client. All right. And this client is made of several pages, right?
Yep.
And so when the client comes in, this page is the one who says, oh, I'm going to mop the floors and do the gym workout 7 times a week, right? This one is the motivated one. But there are so many others who don't give a flying beep about it, who would rather, sleep in, who would rather have some cola, who would rather have a fudge rather than a salad, who would rather go out and, watch some movies and so on. And so so basically this part of your client, this one fights all the others. All right. So when a client says, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, you just know that you are talking to a sliver of that part of that client, not the entirety of the client. So the trick is to be able to pull that out as much as possible, to bring that out to life as much as possible, and to have that part be more, present and active. And one of the very easiest ways, if I can say that, to trick people into going to gym is to or to work out for that matter, because maybe some of the coaches here have clients who work out from home or from the office, and so is to make it stupid easy to make that workout, whatever that is, right? And so how do you do that? Well, there is this concept of, it's called tiny habits. So tiny habits works in the following fashion. We human beings are a total sum of different habits that we have. All right. So your client John, is just a total sum of so many habits that he has. And the idea is that most of those habits are not like pushing him to the gym. They are pushing him to do other things. So what we need to do is either remove some of the negative habits or add in some positive habits that are healthy for our client John, right? So the way to do this, the easiest way to do this is the following. Tie in a new habit that you want to build up, tie it in, connect it to an existing habit, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say every time you go to the bathroom, immediately after you wash your hands, so we presume that everybody washes their hands, right? So immediately after you wash your hands, before you dry your hands, but immediately after you turn off the tap, do 2 or 3 sit-ups right there. Not 10, not 20, one. All right. So make it a habit that after you wash your hands and you just turn on the tap, the next thing is 2 or 3 sit-ups. 1, 2, 3. Not more than that. Not more than that. Just a tiny bit. Then you dry your hands. Then, I don't know, every time you take a sip of water, I don't know, contract your glutes, something, right? So
Okay.
so very tiny things that you are attaching to something that you are already doing. And then after you've done, so you wash your hands, you turn off the tap, you do the sit up, and then you celebrate yourself. You go like, yes, I did it. And you actually make that gesture. You actually like, yes, I did it, right? Why? Because when you do that, you have a small explosion of endorphins in your brain and of dopamine, which basically says, oh, when I do this thing, then I get a little pleasure. So then basically you are hacking your brain to get pleasure by doing this thing, right? So people get pleasure by scrolling their phone, right? It's
Yep.
like it's like mesmerized and like go like that, right?
Yep.
Well, you can say, okay, so now when I put the phone down, I immediately sit up and do a sit up, right? And then after I've done the sit up, yes, I've done it. And you can do that all day long. I like, for instance, when I brush my teeth in the morning and in the evening, I do calf raises, right? So while I'm brushing my teeth, I do calf raises to work out my calves, right? Um, and so you can do very tiny small things. So you can teach this to your clients. Actually, there are so many studies showing that people who are fidgety or who are having, like very tiny movements, like you sit like this, and there are people who do this, right? They are listening to you, and then they roll their thumbs, or they play with a pen while they are listening. This burns calories,
Yep.
this little thing. And so the study is showing that people who are more fidgety, they actually burn like 200-300 calories extra a day just from the micro movements they have. So now if you add this into their regime, There you go. If you add this into their regimen, then it'll help them, right? So this is one thing. And then the second thing, coming back, because I made a parenthesis here, but coming back to this, you have to say this. Okay, so the client comes in and says, I'm motivated and I can't wait to do this workout and change my life. So then what you need to do, you can ask this question. So are you feeling motivated right now? It's like, this is what you really want to achieve. Do you really want this thing to happen? And the client should say, yes, I really want it. Okay, good. So then what you do, you play a little trick and say, okay, so if you were to be like a special being or an animal, it can be a mythical one, it can be a real one, or it can be a hybrid that you make up on the spot right now. But if there were to be an animal that would be a perfect representation of your motivation to lose weight, or of your motivation to be fit, what would that be? And your client will say whatever. I had clients who said a lion with eagle wings and a giraffe neck and and claws and something,
Okay.
whatever. That's what floats their boat. That's what it is. So then what you do, you get that from the client. So now you say, okay, so when you think of going to the gym and you go like, oh, gym again, like, come on, you feel that way, then what you do, you summon this being, you summon it up, and you kind of like let that take over it. Because when you do that, what you're basically doing, you're calling out the part who wants to work out.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that because I was just thinking myself as a tiger, and I have my workout after this, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go to the
Yeah.
gym and be that tiger.
Exactly. So you're feeling down, if you say this to your client, but of course you can do this to yourself, of course, with yourself. So the client feels down. It's like, okay, so first, so what you have to do is you have to help the client get a very, very clear representation in their mind. So here's what I am you talking to your client. All right. So
Mhm.
here's what I do. I'm gonna do this with you, Tobias, so people can look back at this session and play the role. So basically, Tobias, let's say you are my client and you want to work out, but sometimes you're not finding your whole motivation to do that. So sometimes you have ups and downs like life, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Give me an example of a moment when you felt really motivated and you had so much desire to work out, and if you could envision how good you would feel, how healthy you'd feel, how excited and enthusiastic you'd feel about working out and being healthy and losing weight and building muscle. Give me an example of when that happened.
For me, I feel like that every time I work out. But let me give
Right,
you a
but
scenario.
pick something up, like
Yeah.
when you go like you feel like I'm gonna break the gym today, man.
Yeah. If I have a scenario, it's usually maybe if I've been like eating extra clean for a few weeks and I've really tightened up and I just feel a little bit more confident, dropped a couple pounds of body fat, and I just feel good. And then you get this amazing pump on those days when you actually add a little bit of carbs back in. How many of you
Yeah,
guys have done like a carb cycle where you do that? So you cut carbs for a little bit, then you add the carbs back in, you pop, everything looks great.
mhm.
That's something, and just like, oh, then you feel good, you have energy, you got good sleep the night prior, and you're ready to just take on the world. That would be my day.
Perfect. Okay, so now imagine that you're feeling like that, but I want you not to just imagine. I want you to feel it, to experience it, like full body experience that energy, that pump, that like, oh my God, I'm like right now, I'm exploding with energy. Like when you feel it, when
Yep.
you feel that, let me know.
Feel it.
All right, baby. So now let me ask you this. If there were to be an animal, real or imagined, hybrid or whatever, it doesn't matter. If there were to be an animal or being that would be a perfect representation of how you feel right now, what would that be?
Ugh, it would probably be like um, a leopard.
A leopard. All right. And is this leopard sitting, standing, running?
It's walking and its muscles just kind of like you could
All
see
right.
its muscles as it
It's
walks.
walking and you can see its muscles moving as it's walking, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now I want you to do this. I want you to feel as if you are looking at this leopard and you're looking and you see every single little detail. You see every single hair on the leopard. You can see the tail, you can see the ears, you can see the paws, you can see the back, you can see the belly, you can see the snout, you can see everything. Every little detail, like you're looking at this leopard and you engrave it in your brain. So see that like you have a complete 360 perception of the leopard, not just with your eyes, but you can like feel it with your hands. You can smell it. You can almost taste it. When you
Okay.
have that perfect understanding of the leopard, let me know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, good. So now the next step is I want you to feel that you are the leopard. All right. So you are the leopard who walks, and I want you to feel the paws on the ground as you're stepping. I want you to feel the way that the wave of the tail as you're stepping and you're moving. What does the world look like when you're a leopard? You can see your whiskers maybe, and you have this very fine hearing. And I want you to feel as a leopard walking and feel every single muscle as you're walking around. Feel that energy.
Okay. And I feel
All
the
right.
thick neck as you kind of like turn the head. The leopard
Exactly.
has a
Like
thick neck.
nothing
Yeah.
stands against you. You can do whatever, right?
Okay. Yep.
All right. So now when you feel like you're a fully embodied as a leopard, let me know.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. Good. So now I want you to snap out of this experience and tell me, what did you have for dinner yesterday?
Um, I'm almost thinking like I'm still a leopard and I ate a beast or something. Like I had some kind of beast in the tree. So
That's
you want to
good.
know what did I really have, or like
Yeah,
as a
what
leopard?
you really had, because we need to get you out of that state before we move to the next step.
Okay, I really had some lean ground like hamburger, and then I had some. My daughter made like a macaroni and cheese with, but like a healthy version with like low fat cheese.
Nice, nice, perfect. All right, good. Now I want you to imagine like you need to go to the gym, but you're feeling kind of like, oh, bollocks, gym again.
Okay.
Like you feel demotivated. Maybe actually there was an experience in your life when you felt that when you wanted to go to the gym, you thought like I have to, I need to, but I'm so not,
Yeah,
um,
every great now and then I still feel like that. So let me
right.
put myself in that state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. There you go. All right. So now imagine that you actually have to go to the gym, but you're like not feeling really motivated. You're just like, right?
Yep.
So now what I want you to do, I want you in your mind to call out the leopard to say, hey, bring this up, and then feel like you're
Yeah.
the leopard.
I felt it. I felt my claws.
There you go.
I
There
felt
you go. That's
like
it.
the muscles come in the arms. Like, yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Perfect. So now that you have this, how are you feeling and thinking about the gym and workout?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Yep.
Right? Okay, good. So this is the exercise, and everybody who's watching, guys, just watch this again and again. Take notes word for word what I'm saying, if you will, and then apply this with yourself and with your clients. So I'll give you the steps of the exercise again so that you have it very clear, but this is the trick. So this takes like 3-5 minutes to do, and your clients will love you for it. So step number one, find the moment when the client felt really motivated and excited and like, oh my God, that was a good time. Like nothing could stop me. All right. So
Yep.
find that kind of a moment. And the more precise it is, the better. All right. So finding that moment, that is not like, oh, it was it happened many times in the past. And no, try to find like pinpoint. Okay, so when I was ready to run the, I don't know, for high school marathon, whatever, I don't know, something. So find something that they were very, it doesn't have to be sports related. Okay, it can be anything as long as they have that energy of excitement and enthusiasm and motivation. So you find that moment. Then you get them to experience that energy, to experience that motivation, to not to think about it, but to feel it, right, with their entire body, like feel it emotionally, feel it physically. So basically, you can even ask, so what do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? Like with all of the senses. So embodying that experience. Then, once they feel that energy and emotion fully, then you ask, so when you're in this state, if there were to be an animal or a being that would be a perfect representation of this experience that you are having right now, what would that be? And
Yep.
it can be something that is real, or it can be something that you make up. It doesn't matter, but it has to be the perfect representation for you of this energy of enthusiasm and motivation. and you ask them and you tell them, and they'll tell you. Once you have that, then you can say, okay, now I want you to look at this, like with Tobias, we had leopard, right? So I want you to look at this and look so like every single details. And when you look at it, I want you to feel it, to perceive it with all of your senses. And looking at this leopard, it's kind of, or this being, this animal, it's kind of like you engrave it in your mind. And when you
Okay.
have a perfect understanding, perfect representation, like you see 360, let me know. And the
Okay.
clients will say, okay, I got it. And then you say the next step, now be this. Feel what it feels like to be this,
Yep.
right? And then you give them details. Like for instance, with Tobias, now it's okay, feel the paws, feel the whiskers, feel the ears, feel the body, feel the tail, feel the everything, right? So feel like you are this thing. And when they say, okay, I got it, then you say, okay, now I want you to maximize it and like completely take ownership of this experience. Like fully, it's not, you're not a human being anymore. You are this. When you have this experience, when you feel like this is who you are, let me know. And then you wait. And they'll say, okay, now I have it. Take whatever it's taking. Once they say now I have it, then the last step is to kind of like make it clear to them. So whenever you want to go to the gym and you need motivation, I want you to bring this up inside of you. And you can like call it, like if you were to give it a name, what would that be? And maybe for Tobias it would be leopard, maybe it'll be something else. And you give like shortcut in their brain. So you say leopard and that comes up, right? It can be
Hmm.
whatever. So once they've done that, then you break the experience, which basically means you ask them something completely unrelated. It's like you ask so what is your phone number if you tell it to me backwards? And people like
Okay.
what? Hold on. And by thinking of that, they have to come out of this experience, which is what you want. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why you want, because now once they don't have to tell you the entire phone number, but at least say 4 or 5 digits, and then this is the moment when you check. You took them out of the experience and now say, so I want you to think of a moment recently when you felt like not motivated, like you knew you wanted to go to the gym, but you just couldn't put yourself together. And of course, they will have that experience, right? Recently. And they say, I have it. And so now you say, okay, so now bring this up. Bring this up. And once it's activated inside of you, let me know. And they'll say, oh, I have it. How do you feel about the gym now? It's like, let's go, baby.
Nice.
So this way, they hack their own mind, they hack their own brain, and they hack their own behavior.
Yeah.
And this will basically what you do of all of the different aspects of their life. Basically, what you do, you pull this one out and say, hey, I want this one to be out and active. And you guys, all of you, can sit back and do whatever. When this is done, then we can do whatever else we want.
Yeah, man, that's very, very powerful. Eugen, thank you, man. That was good. You guys, did you like that? Is that something that you're going to be able to implement? Let me know in the comments below something that you pulled out of that. If you're going to implement that and if you're going to try that, tell me in the comments below because I want to be able to know like if this was something that was super good. And we're just about out of time. So Eugen, that was amazing. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that also want to know, like, dude, how do I connect with Eugen? This dude's a master at that mindset, which you are. Do you have any type of a community? How
Yeah,
should
yeah,
some?
yeah. Actually, thank you for asking. So I just started my own community on School. So School SKOOL.com /Good Mind, which is also the name of my brand on YouTube and
Nice.
on School as well. So Good Mind. So SKOOL.com /Good Mind. That's my community. You can join. It's free to join. We have gazillion programs in there and videos from different events we've done from NLP, hypnosis, psychotherapy, and so on. And so you can join that. You can join that community. Again, it's a free community. It doesn't cost you anything to join. And there's a lot of information there, and of course, we are now in the early stage with it, building it up. But yeah, there's a lot of information there. You can, if you're passionate about how to work with the mind, you'll find all of that in there.
Awesome. So you to get in there, you guys, once again, it's school SKOOL.com/good mind in there. So make sure you go in there, show Eugen some love. If this was something that you got some value with, you can reach out to him, give him a big thank you, big high five in there too, or if you need any help. And by the way, if you're not already a member of the Online Fit Pro community Facebook group, then go ahead and go in there. It's a great community just for fitness professionals that are looking to grow and scale their business online.
I love that community.
So would love to be able to see you guys in there. If you're not already in there, this is being live streamed directly in there. So some of you guys are watching from there. But I want to thank everybody for watching. And once again, if you got some value, give me a hashtag value down below, which is what we want to see. Eugen, appreciate you, man. That was amazing. Give you some celebration right there. Woo! And we will see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you so much, Tobias. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, good. I just stopped the live screen.